Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. It's never been harder to decide between the MacBook Air and the 13-inch MacBook Pro. Both laptops run on the M1 processor that Apple introduced in late 2020. The new chip introduces big gains in performance and battery life to Apple's most portable laptops, signaling a big step forward for the Mac. Choosing between the new MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air can be difficult since they both run on Apple's M1 processor and come in similar configurations in terms of memory and storage. But there are a few important differences to keep in mind when deciding between the two, particularly when it comes to battery life and performance. But before we get into the video, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Which MacBook is best? It's a fantastic time to be shopping for a MacBook now that Apple has completed its transition from Intel CPUs to custom Apple silicon chips. Now the MacBook Air and all three MacBook Pro models come with M-series processors designed right in Cupertino. So far, they deliver breathtaking performance and record-setting battery life. The M1 chip in the MacBook Air and 13-inch MacBook Pro brings unrivaled performance and endurance to these ultra-portable machines, making them the laptops to beat in their respective categories. Not to mention they support iOS and iPadOS apps, and in the case of the MacBook Air, don't even need a fan to stay cool. The MacBook Air 2022 is rumored to be on its way later this year. While we keep our eyes peeled for updates, check out which MacBook is more appealing to your tastes. MacBook Air, best for most people. Pros: the new MacBook Air delivers almost everything you could want in an Apple laptop thanks to its M1 chip, which enables record-setting performance and battery life. Specifically, the MacBook Air lasted for 14 hours and 41 minutes on our battery test, making it one of the longest-lasting laptops around. Our MacBook Air with 16 GB of RAM scored a resounding 5,962 on the Geekbench 5.2 overall performance test, crushing the XPS 13 with an 11th Gen Intel core. The Surface Laptop 3 with 10th Gen Intel chips dropped further behind, but still topped the category average. And of course, the MacBook Air has the Magic Keyboard, which is far more comfortable and reliable than the previous Butterfly keyboard. We compared these two keyboards side by side and unanimously voted in favor of the new version due to its bouncier keys and improved layout. The screen is sharp too, with a 2560x 1600 pixel resolution. The latest version of the Air supports the P3 color range for punchier tones and True Tone, which adjusts the color temperature on the display based on ambient lighting conditions. Another feature is Touch ID, which makes it easy to unlock the system, make secure payments, and replace passwords. The new MacBook Air's 720p webcam also got a minor upgrade thanks to the M1 chip, and the system supports iOS and iPadOS apps now, although few are optimized for laptops. Cons: 2 USB-C ports aren't enough for most people, so be ready to use a dongle. Also, the MacBook Air isn't the most compact or lightest 13-inch laptop. The laptop also lacks an IR camera for facial recognition login and USB Type-A ports, so those legacy devices will need an adapter. MacBook Pro, 13-inch best for power users on a budget. Pros: the 13-inch MacBook Pro crams a lot of power into a slim and lightweight chassis with its new M1 chip, and it even has a good keyboard. Yes, the 13-inch MacBook Pro gets the same M1 chip as the MacBook Air, but this powerful machine can run demanding tasks for longer because it has a fan inside for keeping things cool. Looking at the numbers, the MacBook Pro achieved 5,882 on the Geekbench 5 test, surpassing the 4,215 premium laptop average. The XPS 13 came the closest to matching the MacBook, while the Asus ZenBook and HP Spectre X360 13 weren't anywhere near as powerful. This machine is only a bit heavier than the MacBook Air, but you get the same M1 processor and longer battery life. I want to emphasize that battery life: the MacBook Pro lasted for 16 hours and 32 minutes on our test. That's just, well, ridiculous, and it puts the MacBook Pro in a different league than its competitors. Apple brought the Touch Bar to the MacBook Pro, as well as a Touch ID sensor. The 13-inch MacBook Pro also offers an improved 720p webcam, a ridiculously fast SSD, and a sleek design. What more can you ask for? Cons: unfortunately, the base model MacBook Pro has only 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports versus 4 ports on the pricier MacBook Pro 13-inch. Oh, and it's time for Apple to get rid of those unsightly display bezels. MacBook Pro 16-inch, best for power users needing a large display. Pros, everything we love about the 14-inch MacBook Pro, but with a large 16-inch display. It has the same M1 Pro and M1 Max chips along with up to 64 GB of memory and up to an 8 TB SSD. Battery life on this model, however, is rated at an outstanding 21 hours. Cons, same as the Pro, the 16-inch MacBook Pro is everything we love about the 14-inch version with a large screen. That means you can score the smaller model at a much lower price without sacrificing anything else besides display size. If you need the larger panel, then get this 16-inch MacBook Pro. If you don't, then it's probably won't be worth the price trade-off. MacBook Air M1 versus MacBook Pro M1, which is better? The M1-powered MacBook Air is generally a better value than the Pro since it offers similar features, performance, and configuration options at a starting price that's $999. Those seeking a general-purpose laptop that's equipped for browsing the web, writing papers, watching videos, and some photo and video editing will find plenty of power in the MacBook Air. While the MacBook Air is the better choice for most people, there are some reasons to opt for the Pro instead. The MacBook Pro comes with a few extras that could make it the ideal choice for professionals with specific needs, such as slightly longer battery life, higher quality microphones, and, most important, internal cooling fans. Now that you can also get the M1-powered MacBook Pro through Apple's refurbished Mac store at a $200 discount, it may be a more compelling option for those in need of more power. The Pro model also has Apple's Touch Bar, which is a thin, touch-sensitive strip that replaces the function key row. But that's not enough of a reason on its own to recommend buying the Pro over the Air. However, it's probably best to hold off on buying a new MacBook unless you really need it. That's all there is for today. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please leave us with your valuable feedback if you found this video interesting. Stay tuned to our channel till the next video, and until then, see you soon.